have ping pong traditions. We have a tradition of having a weekly briefing. Thank you, Stephen. We have a tradition of roundtables. We did that today, where we all teach each other. And everyone says, "Great job, Mark." It's not me. It's you. It's us, right? This is all about us. And I don't know, many of you are part of some really great organizations, but ours is open architecture. Our platform is your platform. Ours is interactive, iterative, and it's going to evolve and grow because of you and us. And David, you're new, David Hoffman, and Mark Sperling. We're going to do this in waves. The next wave is you guys talking to each other. First wave is I'm talking for a second. Okay. So we're going to do some awards today, and you're going to see those up here. That's the third wave, and you're going to be some surprising winners. There's also going to be some surprise awards that I'm just going to wing it. That's what we do sometimes. But look, I just wanted to first of all welcome, thank you. Ladresse, I have to thank. I don't know where's Rita. Rita, she's at the kitchen. Rita, come on, I'm gonna go get her. Rita, we need you for 10 seconds. So, я жил, работал в Москве. И случайно, which means I used to live and work in Russia, and just accidentally I ran into, it said, Coffee Mania, and I was just walking, what? And so there's this chain of it was Moscow's way of beating Starbucks. They had a better, higher end of Starbucks called Coffee Mania. But there's also this thing called Correos. It's a really great restaurant. As it turns out, I got best of both worlds with their flagship store in New York, and this is now your second, and you're the manager of this one. And how many times would I come a week to Ladresse in Bryant Park? Pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID. I think for us to see guests coming back every day, especially you, Mark, it's such a pleasure. I think we recognize guests coming back from the day one, and you were the first ones to come and fall in love with us and bring the guests all the time. So we're very thankful for you just to be with us all this time and support us throughout the way. And it's such a pleasure to have you here with all the parties. So thank you.
Thank you. If you ever need a table, they're here. Just mention, my name.
Yes, that's enough. You have to know Mark, and that's it.
And matcha latte with almond milk. You're going to have some great food here today. So this is a welcome, and we will start the awards. And now Mark and David, everybody can, hobnob and общаться.
Hello? Is anyone there?
Hey, Jim, is that you?
No, this is Adam. Who's this?
Oh, hey, Adam, it's Bill. Yeah, you're below the fold, so to speak.
I'm what?
You're below the fold on my on my thumbnails.
Ah,
Yeah, so if you stepped away, you missed Mark's intro, and then my assumption is they'll be doing some drinking and eating and hobnobbing, and then we may or may not see more of the programming. Such is our lot for not being in person.
Yes, the joys of being Zoom participants.
I think this is how Mark is incentivizing us to be in person next year.
Well, it's easy for the New York crowd. You know, all they have to do is just hop on a train or whatever.
You know, Bill, I kept
Just so
on
you know,
thinking
I
that you
hear
would be
everything you're
sending
saying.
me. Oh, good.
Joking.
I thought.
I want you to come here, Jim.
Yeah, I thought that we would have gotten the invite for the private jet, but I just don't see. I didn't. I think my email must be down.
I think the private jet is down.
Bummer.
I like that comeback. Well done. Well done.
All right, we're gonna restart the Zoom portion here in a second. Give me.
No problem. Okay.
I would have loved to have been there. I tried. I really tried.
Yeah, I actually have an internal event tonight, so there's like no way I can make it.
Yeah, I have family coming in from Russia, so I can't do it. That would have put me in the gulag for a month. At least.
I was going to say at least.
What's that?
Yeah, you know, this is very down the rabbit hole. I found someone on YouTube that's got a channel that kind of talks. She's Russian, and it's essentially sort of a moving travel log across Russia, and it's pretty. I didn't realize how beautiful a country it is, but to more to the point, she did a whole segment on the one. I guess there's only one remaining gulag that is left as it was, and walked through that. It was pretty sobering.
Yeah, it is a sobering experience, you know, in any of those. Even modern day Russian prisons are rather harsh, and that's being generous.
Yeah, I can only imagine. I'm glad your guests are able to get.
Tradition is we all sort of chip in for lunch because otherwise I'd be spending like $100,000 for lunch. Today, Gordon chipped in. So usually it's like just for like 10 people, and I just wanted an acknowledgement of Gordon. And so for that, we usually give the person, because we're from Ohio, we're very polite, that we give you the microphone for a few minutes. Yes. It's a sponsorship deal. It's not a sponsorship deal. It's a co-hosting deal. We don't use that word sponsorship.
Oh, of course. I want to, of course, thank. I want to. All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us here today. Of course, I want to thank Mark, as usual, for the spectacular job and his staff that they do at organizing these events. I've been to many of them, but I would tell you that this is probably one of the best, and certainly the one that facilitates this sort of intimate dialogue. By way of background, my name is Gordon Winston. I hope you're enjoying the food. Don't eat too much. The drink menu is not accessible to all, but only to some, and we'll leave it to Mark to decide who that is. So in short, I'm Gordon Winston. I have a legacy in the Winston jewelry business. I don't talk about it often because I have other accomplishments in my own life that precede that. For the most part, I was an investment banker at Lehman, Kidder, and Bear Stearns. I worked through a lot of interesting esoteric assets. And a number of years ago, after getting involved in the life sciences space through a corporate finance group based in Hamilton, Bermuda, decided that we were going to set up a family office. My father-in-law owned a Canadian retail business called Future Shop, which he started in 1989 and grew that business to roughly $1.5 billion US dollars to sales. He had over 100 stores, and at one point he decided that rather than competing against Best Buy, what he was going to do is he was going to sell that business. So sold the business, realized about $600 or $700 million in doing that, and then set out giving me and a couple of other people the task of finding a home for that. I was just explaining to the table that whilst you have $500 or $600 million to invest, it's not as easy as you think. So we went about, solicited to most of the investment banks looking for homes to put capital to work. And at the end of the day, writing someone a check for $50 to $75 million with no co-investment rights or any other insight into what they were doing wasn't something that we chose to do. So with that, of course, the mandate was set even higher, and the question was, what are we going to do with the money? In a kind of serendipitous way, we got a phone call from Rothschild Bank. There was a Canadian company called Drug Royalty Corporation, which had been put in play by a UK company called Cambridge Antibodies. Anyone in the life sciences space or anyone based out of the UK would know the name of that entity because they had one of the most formidable monoclonal antibody platforms on the planet, and from that, drugs like Humira, Enbrel, and many others were evolved. But anyway, this small little dinky Canadian company, as things typically are in the Canadian Stock Exchange. Oh, that's okay. I too am a Canadian. I hold a Canadian passport. So, oh yeah, all right. Shout out to the other Canadian. But in typical fashion, the company limped along for a number of years. But they did something interesting, is that they identified some off-balance sheet assets that were tied to intellectual property, and thus the quest of identifying other sorts of off-balance sheet assets in this form. I would tell you that we spent $100 million. We decided that we were going to take the company private. We spent $100 million to do it. We basically put our kishkis on the line and decided that this made sense to do. I won't walk you through all the details, but if you're interested, I'll give those to you. But basically, it was a whirlwind. We basically started using our own capital. We ultimately would invest several $100 million of our own money. We needed incremental capital. We brought in Goldman Sachs. We brought in other investors and basically launched a first-time fund, which was $760 million. And from that, we then led IP securitizations. We had securitizations wrapped by the rating agencies. We're talking about doing this back in 2006 and 2007, before anyone understood the value of an intangible was really something that was incredible. And ultimately, we would compete against guys like Royalty Pharma in building out this space. And I have a whole other realm of history on this in particular. The reason why I give you this background is that I moved from just looking at monetization of intellectual property to looking at intellectual property more broadly as an asset class, setting aside the diamonds and the gems and all the other stuff that we were talking about as well. And the reality is that we... Okay, short of it, here we go. We're now invested. We've now actually started investing in Europe and emerging countries such as, I don't want to call them emerging countries, but Finland, Stockholm, Sweden, and using royalty finance as a stepstone into the capital structure of these businesses. So basically, they mostly have 3 to 7 years of operating history. They'll have 85, 90% margins. We use this form of basically royalty monetization as a stepstone and opportunistically invest equity in them. We've got 25 companies right now. We've got a couple of unicorns already in our portfolio, and we're out in the market raising 125 million euro, which we will put out in 9 to 12 months, and then raise a $500 or $600 million fund. Ta-da. Thank you. Oh, absolutely. So everyone, please raise your glass to Mark. Seriously, raise. I would actually raise the glass to everyone here for actually really, this year has been a pretty difficult year. And unfortunately, it is one, but we are here together. So cheers to all. Thank you for your time and good wishes. Thank you. Thanks, buddy.
All right. Wave number 5. Here we go. Wave 5. So, we have, before the entrees come out, welcome some people who just came like Ann. We have some awards. And one of the awards is, what is the best event that we do that we should just keep on doing? And you can't see it perfectly here, but should we do more virus updates? COVID. Should we do more Tuesday briefings? Future of work? Should we do another Midwest tour? Should we do advanced tours? Should we go to the Hamptons again? And the winner is there was a write-in from EdTech from you, but we should do more 11 a.m. briefings. So I have to bring you up, Stephen, and Stephen Burke. So maybe you, like, how do we get it? I actually know, I'll hand it off to you, but I have to credit you, Rich. It was 2 days in London, 2019, and Stephen, as always, comes with like 8 newspapers. And he's the first one in, and he's telling you like what just happened and what is happening. And you're like, oh, that's really nice. Thank you. And then Rich is like, wait, you should like, maybe we should talk less and like let Stephen say something at the beginning. So then day 2, you kicked it up because there was discussion. Is global warming inflationary or deflationary? Right? It's Lincoln Job from Disruptive Capital. And then anyway, and since then, wherever I go, I stop talking and I let you talk. So how was yours?
I keep talking. and I keep talking. We were fortunate though that Jack came into the community, and then I could stop, and Jack can keep talking. So it's all evened out. Although Jack did want me to tell you, Mark, that he still has more time from this morning. So he'll be back. He'll be back soon enough. But I actually just want to thank you guys for keep coming back and listening every Tuesday, because my family can't believe it. So, as well as all the people at ARS can't believe it either. Even Nitin left. He didn't want to hear this. So, but really, thank you guys, and thanks for all the support, and even more so for the feedback and exchanges that we make, because this is a learning community, and you got to come prepared, because every time you're going to speak, you're going to get hit by experts, subject matter experts from places you have no idea where it's coming from, and it's made us all better, I think. So it's a credit to the community and a credit to Mark, obviously, but I don't think we actually appreciate enough what we do for each other, and whether it's the Bill Deucklers of the world or Rob with his questions or go through the list, it's just been a phenomenal experience for us and I think for the whole community. So thank you.
I'm not so sure. Well, maybe he has a knee injury, so that's what's hobbling him. So, we have a second award, which is who's the best speaker? So, Peter Borish, who's brand-ish new to our community, but you already got nominated for your first event. Denise Bruder, who hosts, and she's a player coach, so she can like speak and moderate. Rashad Tabakwala, the Publicis Chief Strategy Officer. John Denniston, and Stephen Burke. You missed the deadline. All right, so. And Sorry, Steven, you have to come up again. All right, fine. Stay where you are. Stay where you are. Fine. We're going to bleed out. All right, I can't show the next awards yet. So, actually, I will. The next award, it's a series of awards. What's the best fund deal in venture, best fund deal in private equity, and best fund deal in credit? So, there are several write-ins. We have everything from Virtue Capital to SharedX, John Dennison, Kismet, which is in Europe, Growth, L2 Ventures, cannabis fund, Jack Wyant's, it was at that time unnamed fund, Learn Start, it was not a write-in, it was actually nominated. Proof, which comes to us from Rich Capital, is a co-investment fund. Antler, it's a global accelerator with several funds across geographies, introduced by Todd Rupert. Also Launch Africa 3 to 35 Africa funds, introduced by Todd. Orange Grove Bio, Joe Jarabek intro. You saw them earlier today. Pace Healthcare, which is a investee of Virtue. We have Grow and Alt and Green Access from the Cannabis Group. Spout on water filtration. Amgen, you saw earlier, Stephen's the chair. Cogni, sort of like a neobank, Internet 3.0. Blockable, lowering the cost of housing by 20 to 50%. Tigris, taking chemicals, making them safer, better for the world. Tap and Go, also neobank, Angela Gorin. A100X blockchain, SAS Ventures, Parified DeFi, and I'm just going to keep on going just for this one. Virtue, which they have Nocero, which is gasoline, natural gas to gasoline with no refining. Broadlight, private equity. Gotham, cannabis. Resilience, lower middle market. Manus Bio, you heard earlier today. Synthetic Bio, and Lumicell, which is Rosemary Sagar's company. So, awards 3 and 4. Oh, Turner, how you doing? Turner Smith. No, joking. It is the best fund deal in venture, Virtue Capital. Now, it also says best fund deal in private equity, Virtue Capital. So, I didn't even vote. I'm biased, but can one of you, Eddie or Rich, actually both of you, come up and say a few words? Make the voters. I didn't vote.
Yeah, so it turns out that we told Mark, look, so many entrants. If you put us all the way up top, how about we let you win at table tennis? In all seriousness, Rich and I are very humbled to be here in your midst. We saw Mark, we met Mark, or at least I met Mark 3.5 years ago in his cubicle. And there was this whiteboard up with all kinds of extremely complicated graphs denoting sort of, we have a relationship between family offices and allocators and special collaboration partners, and very complex. From that to a lunch here with, I guess, 40 plus people and sometimes 100 people on Zoom, multiple events before, during, and hopefully after COVID. It's an amazing transformation. And in that way, you should be, 361 should be here up top. And one of the most fortuitous things for us that spawned out was Rich and I meeting, you doing the nuptials, and us creating a fund. And it takes a village, so whoever can help us and will help us, you're more than welcome to reach out, and the other way around. Most of you guys we've met, and we've been super fortunate to forge so many amazing relationships with you guys. So thank you very much, and here's to 2022.
So there's plenty more to do and hear and participate. So I'll make just a few comments. One is I'm also very grateful for Mark for connecting me to Eddie and many of the people here and facilitating this community, because it is really kind of, to borrow John's words, regenerative. It's exciting. I find conversations, interactions with many of you very inspiring. We're all on this journey. I believe some of the most exciting things in the world are still ahead of us. Finding and discovering and supporting entrepreneurs is really great. Helping them along the way. You know, it's about giving. So, you know, this is like the giving club. You give money if you can, but you give your expertise, your time, your support, and build things. And the rest takes care of itself. So I'm really excited about what's ahead for us as a community, for Eddie and I, and we hope we can find more ways to work with you. And anyway, I'm quite humbled and surprised. Thanks very much. Thank you.
All right. Well, before they bring out the food, let's keep going real quick then. So, all right. So the best credit fund we have 2, 3, 4. There we go. So, Nabari Natural Resources, Better For You Capital, RealFi, Star Mountain, you heard today. Round 2, you heard in a way through Gordon. Gravitas Infinitum doing a green bond, Acer Tree, which is one of Duncan's deals, and Chicago Atlantic also in the cannabis credit space. So drum roll, pause screen. I learned how to do that with my Zooms. Oh my God. It's not Brazil, but Brazil's making a lot of like carnival noise over there. That was good. It's RealFi. So I feel like the Oscars, we should have a video, but there are many people who had COVID touch them, right? And so a lot of people said, I'm not going to come. Wendy Kraft was going to be our MC, and Brian Walter, the head of RealFi, I think somehow there was some connection, so he decided we're going to play it safe. So their fund is like a bridge loan, 12-month duration, gross 12 to 13%. So you can net 10 to 11, and 12-month duration. It's pretty, almost like Treasury. It's nice yield on something like that. So thank you for pointing out RealFi. Is the food? Okay, I guess the food is coming. Food is already here. I'm going to keep on going then. All right, keep going. I'm going to roll. Yeah, the Germans. Pearl Harbor. Okay. The best deal in the public markets. I can take my glasses off. So, Papyrus, I think he was too bashful to possibly, he might win. You never know. It's a disruptive tech hedge fund, long short, ARS itself. 3Edge, which we know through our virus updates. BT Global, it's a Canadian hedge fund, 40% cannabis. It's a strong performance. Mill Trust, emerging markets, Silver Spike, they launched their SPACs, so putting them into that side. Capital Works, you saw Roberta this morning, that she actually got her SPAC off the ground. And the winner is Mr. Bashful's not here, so Papyrus. And accepting in his place, you have to explain who is Papyrus and Silver Spike, which we sort of have to thank. There was an interesting deal. I thought it should have been the best deal, which was Weed Maps, where we came in with a very interesting discount, and then they sold to Silver Spike, their first SPAC, which I didn't know what to do, so I just did nothing, because we're on both sides of that trade. But Papyrus, you can tell that story more freely.
Papyrus is a long, short, primarily tech-driven fund, tech disruptive fund that Nitin runs, and he ran out to go and do a call with Goldman in one of the portfolio companies. But Nitin takes a very unique approach. As anyone who's met him knows, he's a deep dive researcher and doesn't leave much to chance. And I think in the environment we're in, you need to do that even more than we had to in the past, because I think the next bit of period is going to be a little bit rougher than the last couple months. So this is the time to dig deep. And Nitin's done a great job with that. And we're excited to have that as an offering for the community. And it's a great opportunity. And we're also open to seed investing for that. So if anyone has an interest, let us know. Okay. Thanks, Mark.
But by the way, the Tuesday briefings, you can go back to March 2020. We didn't know what the hell was going on, right? But, well, you were speaking up a lot. Someone has described, I said, do you know Andrew Randak? Oh no, you described Hinkle as the second loudest man in Chile. You were the third loudest, okay. But we had a community, but you, Stephen, you can go to Tuesday briefings or go to our YouTube channel, and you can see them, which is amazing. You know, because you say it's going to be tougher going forward. It was pretty tough, and you led us through that. Again, thank you. No, that came later. I was there. You were the one that put your neck out. Not that Bill didn't. Okay, next. I'm seeing Bill right. Bill, you've been great, but all right. Next is, what was the best event and or co-host? And Simon Vine, Denise Bruder, Bill Deukler again, Anand Shahi, who's on vacation. He's done like cannabis events 1 through 26. And Learn Smart was not added, but, and the winner is, go Blue. It's a tie. Denise and Simon. So, Simon, you have to come up. Denise, come quickly, because as soon as Simon starts talking, you know, it could.
I got here before you.
As always, you have the first and the last word.
I'll leave you the last word for you. But truly, it's been very cool co-hosting with you. And I got to say, the future of work, super hot topic. Everyone's interested. I was very drawn to this community for caring about that when not everybody was, and showing an interest in what it meant. And 2022 is going to be the year of hybrid. We're going to see a lot of change happening. We see a lot of new trends materializing. And I'm interested to see how we kind of take our collective intelligence around this group and make some real impact, because hybrid work is the greatest social innovation that we're going to have in our lifetime. So with that, I'll turn it over to the man, the myth, the legend.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Well, thank you, Denise. Very kind words. You know, always inspirational. Always wonderful to have you beside me, and always happy to know that whatever I forget, you know, and whatever I don't know, you know as well. But I want to thank Mark, not as much for maybe this award, but mostly for creating this phenomenal group. It became one of my second homes. All you guys are very precious to me personally, and I really appreciate Mark for creating this atmosphere. And I always repeat it, and I will kind of very pleased to repeat it, that when I came to the country, I knew very few people, and Mark gave me his hand and introduced you to all of you. You became part of my life, and really helped me to expand my horizons. And I think Mark does it for everyone here in one way or another. So he's a phenomenal guy, and thank you, Mark.
So, when I founded Denison Connecting, we had a tradition to go around and and share your offers and your asks. And we found that that was not efficient because people's offers went like way long, and then they never got to their asks. So my ask is, don't thank me anymore. I appreciate it, but let's just move on because it's like this refrain. I do appreciate it, but let's go on to award 8. 9's one of my favorites. Okay. All right. So 8. Okay. So this is, you know. So Greg Schuler for me was one. Like, he's a big, burly. I thought this guy was 6'7". Canadian. He was the CIO of the University of Pittsburgh, and just talked like he was, in the hockey, like he was gonna kill you into the wall. And then you meet him for lunch, and he's like 5'5". And he's he's got shoulders, but he's not like, my shoulders are not bigger than his. I was like, all right, so, or like Bill Deukler, I thought this guy was 6'7". And he's like 5'4". But everybody, like Todd Rupert, the first 5 Zooms, you couldn't see his chin because he was like this. And Jim Hawk was like that. And then he's 6'4". And so Angela, I don't know who, or Candace never shows her face. But if you see her and I go, and this is being recorded, so if you see her at an event, she talked about a hazmat suit. She has a hazmat suit at SALT. So I said, I bet that's Candace right behind me. And Angela, I thought she was. I didn't have any. But there was a vote, and the winner of the most, I guess, surprising difference from Zoom to in-person. And he's here, Jim Hawk. So, Jim, you can come off mute and speak. Can you?
For the somewhat bizarre recognition, but I'm very appreciative of being recognized in any way in a room and in a group with this much quality and distinction. It's really been an honor and a privilege to be in and around everybody. During a time when I think everybody really needed a vehicle to come together and discuss thematic investing and talk about philanthropy. 361 and the community provided a vehicle for that. I speak for myself, but I know there are many others in the crowd who really needed a way to express themselves and connect with other people when COVID, really reared its ugly head. And that's what 361 and the community have been for me. So I'm appreciative for the experience and the opportunity to be with so many great people talking about such fantastic topics and opportunities. So thanks very much.
Thanks, Jim. Jim needs like 5 more logos on his background. But he does have another role, which is something, we have so many things on like this that are coming, sort of being brewing, which is this how we help connect the talent. And he's a co-head for that. So our last, and this is a nice segue, just in terms of awards that are official, the unofficial ones come next, is, well, it's pretty much it. It's the biggest smack-talking ping pong player. So, the award nominees. Actually, you don't even show them there, do we? Actually, we have a different. Here we go. 1 second. I think we do have the nominees. If they're not here, I'll just tell you who they are. Here it is. All right. So nominee number 1, if you don't know Andrea, what she really is saying is you're pretty good for a white guy. and we were doubles partners. Eddie will remind you for another hour or so that he's the reigning champ. But it really doesn't mean anything because we haven't really had a tournament. So, and Rob, unfortunately, wanted a rematch. Unfortunately for him, because I believe that 11-point games are not real games, right? Who thinks that 11-point game is a real game? Exactly. So, Tyler, when we were preparing for the pickleball, you know, do you remember what he said? Kara? Well, ping pong particularly, he said he could win with his iPhone as the paddle, and he did. And all I did, I got nominated just for, I believe that 21 games count. That's all. So we chose the winner of the last official award is Rob Collarina. And but he also won 7 unofficial awards, which include first ask a question, most likely to approach a celebrity on a date. That was Mick Jagger, by the way. Most likely to invite you to an event that already started. Most likely, and he might still do, to show up when you don't expect them. And he's a good guy, so we'll leave it there. All right, that was actually wave 6 through 17. So we're gonna, take a little break and enjoy this Russian bread. By the way, the Russian, the Russians' contribution to the culinary dictionary. I know the people who live there. Do you remember? So, okay, Napoleon invades Russia. What do the Russians do? They let him into Moscow, burn everything. What are the French going to do? Starve. Where do they go? Back to France. Where do the Russians go? Following him to France. What are they? Hungry. And they want food bistro, which means fast. So bistro is the Russian contribution. I don't know if this is a Russian restaurant, so I don't know if so a little history there. Jack. Where's Jack? See that? I have some. I was a history major at Denison. So that said, the other things that I wanted to in a way acknowledge. We've so Turner. I remember Turner. I had an event on Impact, and I said, "What scares you and excites you?" One of our mantras, right? And Turner says, "Millennials." And Torin Kutnick, which someone's from Gartner, he says, "Me too." He's a millennial. So, but Peter, you didn't win an award, but you have wisdom. And actually, I told everybody you're going to speak. So you didn't win an award, but can you come up and win an honorary award for the? All right, big people wanting to pay attention to me. Predict it, because it's all about predictions. What do you think he's going to do?
The opposite of what I say, generally speaking. Yeah. I teach economics when I go back to Michigan, and I tell them, okay, line up all your work, do everything you can, and then when you get to the bottom and you put down your answer, cross it out and do the exact opposite. That's basically economics, because there's what you can see and what you can't see. And as my old boss has still to this day, a sign behind his desk, handwritten, what is obvious is obviously wrong. And that's what it comes to market. And I know Stephen, who I can't believe he took my award. I'm just sitting here, like I'm so depressed. It's very I don't even know what to say. But anyway, he would know exactly what I mean by saying that. So yeah, it's been fun being involved, and for me, besides doing hedge fund VC, what I'm really interested in is if people here are sort of in the next generation. I heard the discussion by Winston earlier, and I'm on the board of Robinhood. We did an event with them, and next generation philanthropy, where there's this development of wealth right now, is so important, and brings full circle back to what Chairman Powell is going to say today, which is the era of free money is over. So if you have liquidity, or you have the opportunity for that, because it's very difficult to rebalance portfolios. Everybody thinks the beanstalk's going to grow to the sky. It does not. Rebalancing your portfolio and taking some winners off the table and using some of those proceeds for those who are less fortunate, that to me comes out of this 361 best thing ever. So thank you.
So, thank you. So Peter was telling us that at the awards, or I guess the fundraiser, so many people come and it's a gala. But the most important thing I think that he mentioned is in February, when they really put their think tank together, and hearing him speak, we have a similar philosophy. We're just trying to we want to invest in top tier funds, and there's so much dysfunction in philanthropy, but they're on the cutting edge. He's trying to see what Powell's doing right now. I see it. They have venture lab-like philanthropic approaches, and I've always heard about Robinhood. I'm just glad we now have we're intertwining our DNA with them. So, which by the way has a Denison in Michigan, Mark Dalton, and Peter, and all the rest. So, now who else can I celebrate? Not Learn Smart right now yet. How about I like the fact that we don't have, we're a global community. And Oscar, can you come up for a second? Actually, and Charles, since you're up, we're gonna kill 5 birds with 2 stones. Charles, that means yes. So Oscar, I was with the family office, and we were looking at investing in a Brazilian fertilizer play. If you remember that lunch? Yeah. But that's what happens. The family, I was like, okay, I'm just gonna have this lunch, and no warning, no subject, just show up, and we got to meet, and then we've been tracking each other, and you've created an interesting platform down there. So I think we all should know you. And whenever I said I want a Brazilian perspective in March 2020, you jumped and you were there, which I appreciate. So I think we met each other again in late January, right before, and we were all a little worried about what was happening. Yeah. But just tell what's happening in Brazil right now.
Well, I think, first of all, nice to meet everybody, and I'm so glad to be back in New York after so long. And I think Brazil and LATAM, for that perspective, it's been very interesting to see 2 worlds. A macro world where we see politics and macro play so terrible, and a on-the-ground opportunity set that's been driven a lot by VC and innovation. I think we saw this week a big example with the IPO of Nubank. I don't know how many of you saw it. And we're seeing a lot of big players. We saw Buffett on that specific play, right? Even for him was 7 months, a 50% uptick on our $250 million check. But we see a lot of different other players that are doing. We run a $200 million portfolio there. And basically what's happening is that the macro play is not going to go anywhere, in my view. I still believe it's going to be a very, very volatile market, very difficult to play. I don't know where the politics is going to go. I don't know which president is going to win or whatever. But I do know that there's a growth in regards to cell phone growth with the individuals, the internet growth, everything that's related to innovation that we're seeing here. We're seeing down there also, and that's impacting the crypto side of the world here also. It's happening there also. So there's a lot of opportunities that we're seeing. So we're investing basically in those theses. We've just invested in plant-based dairies, just to give an example. That's going phenomenally well. We invested in a pet market. We sold that business. We made 12x on our money and 5x in 5 years. So there's a couple of different things. Just to mention what Mark said in regards to what I think people are wanting to run away from is, in a way, fund structure. So I've been in the industry for 23 years, and in the last 15 in traditional fund structures, right? And in the past 10 years, the DXA is going to be 10 years, we started to do more co-investments, club deals and everything. So about a year and a half ago, we developed our own digital platform where investors, they can pick and choose whatever we're investing in. So we're doing this $2 million check here. We're doing that $5 million check here. You can choose and come in. Like our crowd in Israel, I don't know how many of you are familiar with them in Israel. They do that for startups. We're doing that basically there. But look, I'm not here to pitch. Basically, just get to know everybody. It's a pleasure to be part of this community. And Mark, thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar. So before I introduce Charles Way, we had this event for 8 to 80 zones. We're going to do it again. Just look what Steve Young had to say to us about integrating teams. Can you?
Guys, interacting.
Is it just me?
Nobody sits in the same seat. No one in the lunchroom. I want you moving around in the locker room. I want you to get to know everyone. And think about that. It's not that complicated. But amongst 50 guys, if you're not careful, that defensive back, I might know his name because it's on the back of his jersey, but I could play with a guy for 8 years and not really know him, even have much of a conversation with him. But we could be teammates. The concept was, if we're integrated, if we know each other and we have that that common bond, then we can be down by 4 in Green Bay at Lambeau Field in the snow, with 3 or 4 minutes to go, and we can get in the huddle, we can look at each other, and there's this connection because we care about it, we know each other. When you know somebody personally, we've had the interaction with them, you know their family, you know where they're from, you know what makes them tick. You look at each.
This was Bill Walsh. It was a very exceptional coach, and it was an event about greatness. I mean, and with the NFL, but also we had hockey, Gretzky, we had Jerry Rice, and who was the best person to, MC that event? But Charles, because he's been around all these great players, and was great himself, and is great. So we have a common vision, but maybe you can share how you see our vision as we go 2022. We're going to do an interesting event right before the Super Bowl on February 11th.
Thanks, Mark. First of all, it's great to be a part of a group like this. One of the things I actually brought to Mark's attention or how we were introduced is I found great opportunity in the space that I'm currently in, but I didn't see too many faces that looked like mine. Whether it was an athlete or a person of color, I didn't see too many. And when I look back at my career and the money earning power that I had during my first 5 years, this would have been a great opportunity for me to be a part of this space. And so being in player development for 15 years and helping players think about life after football, because that's what I had to do because of an injury, precipitated the fact that I have a desire and a passion to bring players into this opportunity at a much younger age. A lot of people, there are a lot of different groups out there that are doing an investment fund with players. This isn't an investment fund. This is an educational place where you learn how to be the owner of your own company. Hopefully with the ambition of partnering with one of you, allowing them to learn how to create a private equity fund, a VC fund, so that they can take ownership, so that they can be a CIO or a COO of their own brand or their own company. Because all of us started in college and had to start somewhere. And I think what better way than to educate someone who has work ethic, who's made it to the highest levels of their careers, than an athlete who's willing to learn and willing to put the time in. So I hope you guys will be a part of what we're trying to create here, and look forward to working with you next year.
So hearing Steve Young, I told him this, if you can hear it. 1 second.
Believe in what you described, Steve, about bringing people together into a community so they know each other. So I had a...
Okay, I got cut. Well, clearly I believe in what he was saying because, and I did this, I wanted our community to come together, and I want you to help me do it again. And we come together. This is like a highlight reel of our 2021, a year ago, predictions. And here we go. Let's see. I have to do this. Oh, sorry.
Could you introduce yourself?
Hello, I'm Greg Schuler. I'm the Chief Investment Officer at the University of Pittsburgh.
My name is Erica Lill.
My name's Travis Leach. I'm a partner at DLA Piper.
I am managing partner at Azar Ventures.
My day job now is executive founder of Wellco.
A year ago, I retired from EY.
I am today the Chief Investment Officer of the Austin Gold Foundation.
I'm a former head of an investment bank.
I work at a family office investment manager.
Just share your alumni connections, because that's important to our community.
I went to Harvard.
Denison, so when undergraduate, I went to Harvard Business School.
As I think I'm the first member of the University of Missouri alumni group. Not only Denison, but Michigan, other schools as well.
The University of Michigan.
So let's go to a reflection. Reflect on 2020. Best, worst decision.
It's not been an easy year for everyone.
My best decision in 2020 was not to sell my assets.
Easily the best decision for me has been doubling down on time spent with my kids.
I would say that we had some great progress moving this SaaS startup forward.
I do think on an international basis, Asian markets are particularly attractive outside of China.
We've also represented some very interesting opportunities in the artificial intelligence space.
My worst decision I made was not investing enough into Amazon and to a couple of the other companies that I knew were going to skyrocket.
I would say we did a good job of taking some risk on for the bottom.
I had the opportunity to invest in SpaceX, and I decided to pass on it. Beyond investing, or from a social development goal perspective or philanthropy, so could you maybe identify one that you're passionate about and what you're likely to do in 2021 for?
That you need to be a lot more active with your decisions.
Ensuring that people around the world have access to safe means of employment.
I feel like the wealth gap is large, right, and getting bigger, and I'm concerned about that. So.
We're very optimistic about what I would call the reflationary stocks coming out of COVID.
I believe that the fourth industrial revolution, what they also call Industry 4.0, will really take root starting in 2021.
In terms of your asks, how can we help you?
One area that we'd like to look at are good long-short managers.
To concentrate on adding food.
I encourage anyone who hears this, just reach out anytime and let's start a dialogue and share ideas.
You know, we're always interested in meeting endowments, foundations, pensions.
In terms of advice and one word for people going into 2021, what's the one word you want to associate with that year?
Local. Love and unity. Optimism.
Hope.
Challenge.
Hope.
Booming. Embrace. Progress.
So that was last year. And my ask is you go to 361firm.com/2022 and do it again. Same script. And with that, we're going to finish eating. Just stretch, get ready for a little ping pong. I still might come up here and celebrate somebody, but again, thank you, everybody. And we're going to kill it. Crush it, 22. And thank you everybody on Zoom. Again, Bill, Jim, Adam, I see you, Julia. If you want to say a few words, feel free, but I'm going to turn my mic off.
What were the winners?
Chat
Hey,
real
Mark.
briefly.
Won an award, by the way.
Who did?
Who did? Of course, you did. You probably someone told you, and you came on. But you won. You're the biggest smack talking ping pong player of 2021. But you actually won 7 awards, but that's one of them.
I will take one, and we're 50-50 lifetime, so I might have to practice an hour next year.
Okay, so 1 game to 21 equals a game to 11. Anyways,
A game's a game. Eddie will be the
a game to 2 is a game to 2. That's a game. Okay. You can still make it. Mirjana's on her way from London. She's gonna pop in here. So, all right.
I'm in the famous Willard Hotel, which is in Washington.
You're where?
I'm in Washington. Well, this is where the word lobbyist came out of for some of the Ohio folks.
Yeah.
And all that stuff. But this is the Willard Hotel lobby. I look forward
during
to
COVID, you were the first person to move around. You went to Puerto Rico. You went everywhere. Right?
Well, that's. I think that's the case. Yeah, but I think we all learn from each other.
Indeed.
I was at another lunch, but I had to pop in for. And thanks for sending us the link, and it's good to see Bill, Jim, and some of the other folks on Zoom. But congratulations on what you guys are doing.
Well, we got a lot more to do together.
Yeah. Good. I sent you something for tomorrow, so take a look at your email.
I know.
Pop by
you won the award. You won the award the most likely to invite someone. Well, first of all, you invite us to the most events, period. It's just they usually are just starting. But yes.
I'm learning though. It's a day in advance versus an hour. So come on, I'm learning.
You gave me 18 hours notice. I appreciate that. That was really good.
All right. Well.
Thanks, Julia.
Good
to see you.
More to come.
Oh, by the way, Julia. Oh, I lost you. I was about to tell her that I was at a party. Anyways, I'll tell her later. All right. Thank you, everybody. Too bad you can't join us for ping pong, but we will be filming it. So probably around 4 o'clock, you can see how it's going, and who the winners will be around 5. So I know it's important to you too, Jim.
Very important.
See y'all. Jim, we'll allow them to practice, and we'll have the practice steps to make the Sears finalist list here, and we'll get Adam to come up from Key Largo to partake. Or we'll take the tournament to Miami.
Excellent. But in for whatever. Thanks, Mark. Thanks all.
That sounds great, Rob. Sounds like a challenge. I like it.
Good to see you all. Sorry I couldn't be there.
And I think they are coming, Adam. They are coming to Florida. Is that right? In January?
Yeah, my understanding it's January 24th, 5th. Coming down.
21st through 22nd.
Okay.
It's over the weekend. After that, it's nebulous.
Okay. Yeah. I was just there for a week with Art Basel and these other things. And Adam, I got your message, but yeah, let's put some critical mass around that. And I think there's a lot going on in Florida as we all are seeing.
There is a lot of capital coming down here. A lot. This city has changed tremendously. I mean, it is becoming one of the internationals, like London. And you're seeing here.
But I think this is where it's an interesting time to affect some, I think, good governance too, because I think, you have the benefit of growth, but then also, I think there's still some of the rules are still being developed, and
yeah,
I think Bill, that's where I think this thing, the connection between Orlando to Palm Beach and I think, what is it, the Bright Line or the,
Bright Line. It's the Bright
yeah,
Line.
I think
Yeah.
that's a good move. Because I
Supposed to
think
be
some,
finished. Right, it's supposed to be finished by late next year, I think.
yeah, because I think some of that growth is like, I mean, just the traffic getting around Art Basel was ridiculous. But if you could take the train down and, maneuver around, and I did that, some Bright Line and some Tri-Rail, that's, if
So
the
we
last,
look at ourselves as a VC in philanthropy. So we take risk, we take early stage.
I think a video's on. I think that's our cue. More to come, guys.
Even crazier, including
Enjoy
the
the
fact
Willard,
that it's not very well
Rob.
known.
Ciao.
Thanks, guys.
To talk about a lot of these issues today, discussion, teaching.
I'll start with a quick message that impact is everywhere, from ambitious stuff to small day-to-day things. For example, we as a family are supporting.
Just one announcement. 3:20 is when we're starting. So we're gonna leave here at 3:15. So everyone knows. Just enjoy your meals, your food. What? Sorry. What? Oh, we're leaving here at 3:15. So no rush. Eat, drink, and be merry. All right, we have a new award winner that just arrived from London. Yeah. All right. Everyone can have your attention. We just have Tom, just 1 second. So, Miran, come over here. So everyone, we have an award number 10. Listen for a second. All right, hold on. Jen, Eddie, everybody. Yesterday, Andrew Randak, listen. Andrew Randak, 1 second. Everyone, 1 second. Table number 5. So yesterday, what time was it? It was like 12, 1?
Well, UK 5:20, so.
We were saying that, well, Tom Jump, why don't you come in from Boston? Take the train. And I was like, well, somebody came from Singapore. And he said, if I'm going to make that flight, I have to leave it like at 8 a.m. It's midnight. All right, I'll let you know if I'm on the flight. And I wake up and she's at the London airport, flying in. So our official, I mean, some people flew in.
It was worth it. So I never made quicker decision in my life for this long flight. Usually, more than 24 hours. So this was all made in 24 hours. PCR test had to be done. So that was the hardest actually thing to do. But everything was sorted. And yeah, 1.5 hours sleep. And I'm here. Yeah.
So you look great. Yes. Awesome. So just with that, we're gonna John Bellamini also is contributing. We're upgrading on ping pong. I'm going to show this to, there's Richard Branson. And someone else playing tennis. We'll hit that in a second. But so we're going to explain. Spin only has 2 tables, maybe 3. We've upgraded to 5 at a place, and they also have 20 pool tables. It's at 20, and it's 1 block away. So I'm going to show you the new place we're going. We'll have 4 to 5 ping pong tables, but meanwhile, oh look, there's John. What is that stroke? Are you trying to? That looks like a ping pong stroke, but you're like in the middle. Okay. You're saying you hit that stroke and you actually got it to him? All right, well, explain what you're doing here. I'm going to give you guys the details on this upgrade.
So this was the group that had never played before, including me. So that's why I did that. Yeah. But so we were there for 5 days. I've invested in a company that is a partner of mine, and they are focused on using AI to help people learn faster. And we gathered 40 of the world's leading experts in AI and put them on the island, Necker Island, for a week. And it was really interesting because you had the elite thinkers, you had the Russians, you had the Chinese, you had the Americans, you had all the different cultures, you had all the different ages. And one of the things I noticed that was missing was the humanity and the socioeconomic diversity. And so my contribution to the event was helping the technologists, because they were all talking about what's going to happen with AI, and I'm like, AI comes from us. We are the best technology. This is the technology that created AI. It's actually not separate. And getting the focus on including the working poor, including the people that they're going to do this to. And that was my contribution to it. And after 5 days of all kinds of great activities and conversations, we formed a committee of the world's 40 leading experts in AI. Richard Branson's getting behind it. I've known the CEO of Virgin for about 10 years, and she's getting on board. And we're going to be doing this over the next 3 to 5 years to put a governance committee to help guide the willing to produce AI for good instead of just extraction. And I invite any of you that want to learn more about this and join our group. Happy to. There's no charge for this. It's just we're a group trying to do the right thing. And what I learned from this and watching this, all the different groups coming together like we're here at lunch, it was, in the beginning, everybody's kind of in their cliques. And at the end of it, everybody had merged. Everybody came together. I hope the inside photos aren't up there. But anyway, so it was really great, made lifelong friendships, but the act of bringing people who you don't know from different cultures and different backgrounds to solve a problem is really effective. Even though they all know AI, they're all from all different parts of the world, socioeconomic statuses and things like that. So I encourage you as you design solutions for your communities in Ohio, not to just bring the best thinkers, but bring the community into there with you, and then also bring divergent thinkers and bring people who don't believe you. I know this sounds like 101, but this was really powerful. And again, if you want to join our group, please join. Thank you.
When's the next meeting of the group? John, how do we join the group, and when's the next meeting?
How to join the group? Contact me, and I'll connect you with Brian Talibi. How do you contact me? I'm best on text, believe it or not. It's everybody ready? And I'll send it out. It's 917. Come on, be quick. If you were at a bar, you'd have to be quicker. No, sorry. It's 917-692-0108. Once again, 917-692-0108. It's about AI for good. We're open to expanding this group. We want to make it a global thing, and we could really use your help. The next events will be across the U.S., but we will have we hold events there about every 4 months. So happy to have you participate in any way you can. Thank you.